Okay, we are now here where we've been talking about working with vendors. This section is where we're going to talk about actually paying those bills that we entered over back in the previous video. One thing I want to point out before we actually go ahead and pay this bill, remember there is a flow chart for a reason. You enter the bill and you follow the flowchart over and pay the bills. What you don't want to do is enter the bills and then come over here and write a check to pay it or use the check register. And the reason for that is because there is no association between this check and this bill. And so if you did pay it, your accounting would be correct, you'd get the bill paid, everything would be fine, except if you run a report to see which bill you owe, this would show as outstanding and you have not yet paid it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to pay bills, and you're gonna see that this is the list of all the bills that you owe, even if you owe a penny. At the top of the list here, there are different ways you can show the bills. Notice I'm showing everything and I'm showing it's sorted by vendors. Notice you can narrow the list a little bit by not looking at anything due before a certain date, or you could filter and show just one vendor from the list. You could do that. So just know you can have different ways you can look at this list. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to go down the list and check off whatever bills you're going to pay. I checked off this, and notice when I check it off, it assumes I'm paying the entire bill. If I'm not, I'm just going to come over here and type what I'm going to pay, and it will remember the balance. So I could pay that at a later date or do a credit memo if I wanted to. If I wanted to pay peri-window, then I would check all of that at the same time and would just write one check. Down at the bottom, the first thing you'll say to say go to bill. This is one of the few places in QuickBooks where you can't double click and open something, so you just have it checked up. You could go to the bill that way. Set discount. You might have noticed that sometimes a vendor may have terms like 2% net. That means the bill is due in 30 days, but if you pay in 10 days, you can take 10% off. If that's the case and you're going to take that discount, you're going to click set discount, type in the amount of discount you're going to take, and then on account, you want this to go back to. And usually you're going to see something like, let's see if they have discount in here. They don't have one in here, but you can have one in here, and then you can say discount taken, and that way you can have an account so you can see how much of a discount you've taken. Here is where you set credit. So if you've already set a credit memo, you've created it, you can actually come in here and apply it. This is the date you're going to make the payment. This is the method. Are you going to write a check for it or use a credit card for it? Remember, a check could be ATM, debit. It's all considered a check. And this is the account right here that's going to come up. Over here you have to be printed, and this would allow you to go ahead and check off several, and each one you could say to be printed and print them all at once, or you could say assign check number. I'm gonna say assign check number and say pay selected bills, and this is what it means. And it says assign check number. You could put something in the check field. You could put check number or something else. I'm going to put this name here. Now I'm gonna click OK, and now that one is paid. Pay more bills or done? I'm gonna say I'm done. Now let me go over to the check register for a minute and show you what it looks like. I'm going to use my checking account, and there is my payment. So you're gonna find that as we go and talk more about the registers, this bill payment tells me you did this correctly. This tells me that you actually went in and entered the bill and said paid bills. The way I would know that you've done this wrong, if you just entered a bill and wrote a check for it, is what would happen is instead of saying bill payment, would have said check. Like this one up here is a good example. So that's how it works. So it's pretty easy to enter bills and pay them. That is it about working with vendors. So we are going to talk more about working with items and inventory. So please follow through, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any of our videos. Thank you.